And they're away. And straight away they go, and it's a lead for Ongaro from Canas. I think someone's saying on the camera's not too well. We know that, it's fine. Right, up and down they go. Over, back, round Scotty's carousel for the first time. They'll go left and hard and climb up the steep hill that is the S-Works jump, and then off to the top left. And the first lap is going to be in the books, and unless he makes a mistake, it's going to be in the lead for Davide Ongaro. Ongaro breaks a little bit of a back there. There's a little bit of a lead. Ronafalk's already moved to third, so Ronafalk's made a major move in the first lap. So in a complete antithesis of his semi-final, he's gone forward 2 positions. Burak is in 4th, so it's a big loss. Robert Battle is the person who's lost well out in that first lap. He's down in 8th place. Coelho's also gone down from 8th to 11th. Todd and Niven have swapped. So the big winner is Ronafalk, and to a lesser extent, Clement Boda and Andre Trevisan. But our leader is our leader, and that is Davide Ongaro. And it's quite ironic we've got the top 3, because these are the top 3 in pre-qualifying, the top 3 in qualifying, and now at the moment they're the top 3 in the race. There's Ronafalk just behind us. So 1, 2 and 3. Currently Kilic is trying to keep up with them. And they go around the corner. So Ongaro said the tyres took a while to come in. Well, that's quite good news because he's leading, and his tyres aren't taking that long to come in. He's able to get ahead, settle down. He's got nothing in front of him. He's able to concentrate. Let's just drop back to 2nd and 3rd because it's closer, and it is looking like Canas is now under pressure from Ronafalk. So Canas also probably trying to settle himself in. Ronafalk is convinced he's quick enough. He just hasn't been able to put the runs down at various parts of this event. The two of the runs on Thursday's qualifying, and of course the semi-final. But he's made the start he needed to make. He's got through, and now he's right on the backside of Juan Carlos Canas. The S-Works leading the X-Ray up on the inside. Very, very early. 2.5 minutes into a 45-minute final. And already a little breakette for Ongaro, mainly helped, I think, by the scrap that's happening now. Now remember, there's many variables in a 45-minute Nitro final. There's luck, there's tyres, there's everything else, but also there's fuel stops, and we don't know whether anyone's going to stretch out to the 9-minute stop rather than the 7.5-minute stop. 7.5-minute stops mean you start at 7.5, you stop at 15, you stop at 22.5, you stop at 30, you stop at 37.5, and therefore you stop 5 times. A 9-minute stop means you stop 4 times. At 9, 18, 27 and 36. So that's how you can save yourself about 7 or 8 seconds by stopping 1 less time. Lead out to 1.7 seconds. These two right together. Boots is now in 4th place. So Boots has got past Burak. Burak's had a problem behind us. Burak's rolled in, I think, at one point. So now Boots in 4th place. Only a second back, and he's now coming forward as well. So with Boots in 4th place, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7 European Championships and 4 World Championships in 4 cars in this class, not the other classes, and many, many more European and World Championships. That one. There's Boots in the red machine, just catching up very slightly. And in fact, everyone caught up with Ongaro last time. He had a wobble, lost about 3/4 of a second. So they're all getting a bit closer. 2nd and 3rd. Let's just the 2nd and 3rd is the focus, because that's obviously a little bit more tied together. And Ongaro not really getting away, but Canas being hassled very much by Ronafalk. But it's so hard to pass here. You can try the over and under here, or you can try the wide loop there. And the thing is, you're dealing with the best in the business. So harassing a mistake out of Canas is going to be very, very difficult indeed. So evening up to 11th. And there they are. They're next to each other, both on the rostrum and on the track. Just remember the right-hand side of the track, Will, of the camera, sorry. As close as it can be. Ronafalk really looking. I mean, it is easier to follow than to lead. So Ronafalk, I think, is looking. He's looking faster than Canas, but that's just, I think, he's able to pace himself at the back. But he needs to find a way through. I mean, there's many ways of doing it. There's doing a different fuel strategy. You can over and under it. Boots is 4th, Boda is 5th, Battle is 6th, Parente is 7th, Glitch is 8th, Trevis is 9th, Coelho down in 10th. Really kind of like a meeting that's not quite working for Bruno, but he's a lovely chap, and he'll win many more Euros and World Champions with Infinity in the future. You saw there that Ronafalk had to brake because Canas was where he wanted to be, and he was the one who lost time. And this is what we've been saying about this track. It's very hard to overtake, because to get close, you then start having to pace yourself on what the person ahead of you is doing, which isn't what you want to do. You lose time. Now, interestingly, is how quickly he's going to get back on the tail, and the answer is quite quickly he's able to gain 2 or 3 tenths. I think we had a slight problem for Boots in the last lap, and he's dropped now back into 7th. And we've got Boda now, but 3 seconds behind. So it's about these 3 again, much as it has been really with the odd interloper for the past, 8-9 years of, 10 years really, of IC Nitro finals within EFRA. Ongaro leading by a second. Ronefalk just half a second, with a lot less than half a second. That's just as close as you can get without hitting someone. And now side by side, he's going to get down the straight. Oh, Ronefalk gets just a brilliant move there. Ronefalk just got the drive, got past JCC. JCC thought of coming back. I think discretion there. He didn't try to cut across at the energy corner. And that's the first time I've seen someone overtake down the main straight. And now Ronefalk's going to set about seeing what he can do about Ongaro. I'm sure JCC will keep watching, but there's 5 minutes to go. There's only fuel stops to go. Ongaro obviously gained a little bit there as those two were fighting. Scored as a 1.153 second lead going across. I think that's going to come down as Ronefalk begins to push. Lead drops down. It does to 0.7 of a second. And so, that was close. 2 wheels. Ronefalk really on it. But one mistake is going to be absolutely lethal for any of these drivers. Now, they're beginning to build a kind of a comfort gap to 4th place Clement Boda, so they could have a little error and not end this up in traffic. Now, but the interesting thing is, as I said, whilst Ronefalk was following Canas, it was quite easy to follow Canas. Now, the situation is Canas can follow Ronefalk. As I said that, he made a minor error and just dropped off a little bit. And come down the main straight again. Canas in 3rd. He's dropped out 7 tenths. There's no real difference here. 34.06, 34.13 with the top 2, but 34.2. So it's tenths of a second. That's what takes it. Ronefalk, though, isn't. He got that initial buzz and he picked up 3 or 4 tenths. Gained on Ongaro. Ongaro, I think, is maybe possibly even pacing himself already. Just seeing where they get to at the first pit stop. And we are now at 7.5 minutes. So we could be in for the first pit stops this lap or the next one if you're running a 7.5 minute schedule. I am obviously absolutely... and now Canas has got an extra lap. Now, is Canas the man doing the 9 is the question. Canas may do an extra lap. Let's pick up with Canas. When we come out of here, pick up with Canas, because it's now really what he does next, which is all about the tactics. So we know that the 7.5 minute stop is what Ronefalk and Ongaro are doing. Canas, don't know, is he just running an extra lap to give himself a bit of free air? Because you might think that can be good enough to gain him some time and perhaps get past Ronefalk with effectively an overcut, as we call it in Formula 1. If he gets to 9 minutes, then we're into a real different position where he has got himself nope, it's just an extra lap for a bit of space. So they're all on the same number strategy. They're all on 5-stop strategy. We'll take Canas back out of this pit stop as well and see where he comes out compared to the other 2. There goes Canas. No Canas. So in the lead is Robert. So Battles, I think Robert is doing 9 minutes. So we got Robert in the lead temporarily. So Robert Battle leads this one from Ongaro. From Ronefalk, they've both, I think, pulled a small amount from Canas. Where's Canas in this whole thing? Canas seems to have had a bad stop or a bad exit. This is ahead. You can't see the whole track at once. But Robert's leading this one. Comes in the pits now. Not quite 9 minutes, but it doesn't really matter. So now it is Ongaro from Ronefalk, from Canas. Canas lost 3 seconds in that pit stop. I'm not quite sure where. It looked fine to me. He must have had a little problem in the re-entry, which we didn't see. So he's dropped off, but just 3 seconds, not a lot. So, one of those mysteries of the pit stop. It looked absolutely fine as we watched it go down on the screen, but in reality, it was a little bit slow. But he's got to try and make up that 3 seconds that he's behind Ronefalk. Robert Battle has enjoyed a bit of time in the sun leading this race. Not quite sure he made 9 minutes. He might have done, in which case he obviously was already a pit stop behind because they were behind him. Right, these 2. It's Ongaro from Ronefalk. It's Ongaro with the more blue in the car, yellow and blue, and Ronefalk, his traditional yellow and green colours. We're not even into the first 10 minutes. Canas 3-2 behind as Ronefalk goes side by side up the inside. We went the inside. They both hit each other. That's great news for Canas because they've both lost time. That's going to help Canas get a bit closer. That was just racing. There wasn't any kind of reason, positive or negative of that. But the point about it is Canas was 3.2 seconds behind as Ronefalk makes another little minor kerfuff, but nothing major. And we saw a 35.9 So Knaus made up 1.9 seconds during that lap on Ronefalk, because Ronefalk was battling with Ongaro. Ongaro's getting himself in a breathing room. He's 1.1 ahead. I'm pretty certain that if he stays 4 wheels down, Ronefalk will relatively quickly cruise up to the back of Ongaro. And this three-way battle will be reignited. Ongaro, he said he was happy. He waited for his tyres to come in. Well, he's had 10.5 minutes now. If they're in, they're as in as they're going to be. And we know that they're going to run through probably all the grip of the tyres and end up on slicks. Depends on the brand and the compound and the softness and hardness about when that happens. Ronefalk again, 33.8, gained a couple of tenths. Ronefalk's the only person who's gone sub 33. He's done it 2 or 3 times. So in individual lap speed, Ronefalk has the fastest car at the moment. But there's going to be a lot of change as the tyres come in and go out. The tracks go round. And we can see there the top 2. Last time round it was 9/10 of a second. It doesn't look particularly different from that now. 9/10 of 1.7 across the line it goes, and it goes up to 1. Yeah, it's about 800 of a second in Ongaro's favour in that one. And actually, Juan Carlos Knaus has just done, I think, what's the fastest lap of the race with 33.6. So Juan Carlos really coming strong now, and he gained another couple of tenths. So that problem in the pits cost him 3.2 seconds. He got most of it back again with the argument between Ongaro and Ronefalk, and Knaus is going to get the rest on sheer pace, and it's going to be a three-way battle again very, very soon. Now, absolutely, Ronefalk is close this time to Ongaro as they go through the Nagy section and now round the cone. And we finish the lap, and it's going to go down to about half a second again, I'd say. Yep, 0.4, and that was because we just had the fastest lap of the race done by Ronefalk, 33.6. Again, Knaus is at 33.7. The pace has really picked up, and the person who's not quite got 33 pace at the moment is your leader, Davide Ongaro, sorry. So Ongaro with the Associated leading that yellow and blue car, dark wing, and it's easy to see the colours. The colours get washed out on the screens, but with the white wing, it is Ronefalk who is right behind Ongaro. Ongaro has led every single lap apart from the one on the pit stops when it was briefly Knaus in the lead, but now they're right together, and Knaus has been dropped a bit in this lap as well. 3 tenths he lost is very much a case that Ronefalk now is right behind Ongaro, and I think if they can go the extra lap, and they just lost it again. If they could go the extra lap, then Ronefalk perhaps could have done this. Probably not going to be an option now because he's lost a 3/4 of a second or so with that wobble. The one thing he can't afford to do is wobble so that Knaus gets past him, because getting past someone is incredibly expensive in lap time. So effectively a good lap for Ongaro because of a mistake made by Ronefalk, cost him 0.9, 35.1 that was, cost him 0.9. I say a mistake, it's really because he's trying to get past Ongaro that he has this issue. He can't quite get the car past him. It's hard to overtake. Ongaro's driving, the perfect line, so you have to drive an imperfect line to try and get past. And when you drive an imperfect line, imperfect things happen. But Knaus now, Ongaro's made a mistake. Ongaro's made his first mistake, and Ronefalk goes into the lead. I forgot to press the replay button because I was too excited. So Ronefalk now takes the lead, and now we'll see what pace he's got. As Ongaro just got that jump coming back up in front wrong, and now Ronefalk, we can see what he's got in that X-Ray and FX package. Rare mistake by Ongaro. Still 31 minutes to go though, so there's plenty of time to put it right, but Ronefalk now has the first time can stretch his legs in the lead, not worry about someone in front of him. But he's got Knaus behind, and a little bit further behind again is Ongaro. And let's just see what happens. It was 8 tenths or 9 tenths actually that he led from Knaus up and over, and now he's going to come across the line again. What will the lead be in his first lap in the lead? And the answer is it's gone out to 1.3, so 0.4, and Ongaro lost 0.4 as well. So Ongaro, I don't think, has quite got the speed of the other two. This is going to be a problem for Davide. How is he going to get back up to them? There is an ebb and flow in the race, but Ronefalk, suddenly in the pound seats, we've had a battle between these three all weekend. On Wednesday, we had pre-qualifying, and Ronefalk was the fastest over 3 laps. Then it was Knaus, and then it was Ongaro. Then we had qualifying, and it was Knaus, then Ongaro, then Ronefalk. And now we're seeing Ronefalk, Knaus, Ongaro. Ronefalk pulls out another 3 tenths of a second. Ongaro gets a little bit closer to Knaus, so that's down to 1.2. Second and third condenses up. First and second stretches. Half an hour to go. It's time for the second pit stops, either this lap or the next one. Probably the next one. We'll find out. My guess is they'll go in the following lap. Because he's actually coming out to half an hour. It is actually probably the lap they'll go in now. But Excellent result there. So big changes during this set of the fuel. Obviously, it's a big loss for Runcar's Canas. He's going to go an extra lap at least because he went an extra lap last time. Is Ongaro coming in as well? He is already down and out. And that was a slightly long fuel stop, it seemed to me, for Ongaro, but we'll find out what happens. He's on the same fuel strategy as David, which is normally, prior to the FX change, Ronnefeld tended to run a bit longer, didn't he, than Ongaro. Now with the engine change, he's running the same sort of 7.5 minute schedules. Now, Canas has got a bit of free air, but unfortunately there's some traffic ahead of him. I think he's about to lap, could be about to lap Coelho. That's really unfortunate. Now, is he going to do one more lap? Is he going to do two more? No, he's just doing the one more lap. So, take Canas in, and we'll take Canas out, and we'll see where he finishes. So, take Canas out. And where is he? Is he still in second as he exits the pit? There's our leader. I think Canas is just behind him, actually. I don't think there's any gain or loss there. Is that Canas? Yep, so it was no real gain or loss from that pit stop cycle. There is a loss, actually, as I thought. The loss has been Ongaro. Ongaro did, to me, seem to have a slow fuel stop. And I think he's now dropped 3 or 4 seconds off the back of these two. That'll be confirmed when we come round start-finish in a few seconds' time. But Ronnefeld now under the pressure of Canas. Canas, you know, happy, I think, to lay back, but also he can't let Ronnefeld get away. In fact, Canas did gain during that pit. I think he gained about 3/4 of a second during that pit stop cycle. Ongaro, as you can see now, 4 seconds back, did lose about 3. Clement Boda, I'm not sure if he stopped or not, but if he hasn't stopped, he's doing brilliantly. No, he hasn't stopped. So the stops are coming through at this point. As round, very easily around Scotty's carousel, went Ronnefeld there because, of course, he was the driver ahead of him was asked to move out the way by the referee, Mark Stitzen. And over that lap go, 1.1 goes to 1.1. So Canas on the same pace now as Ronnefeld. And there's a good chance these paces are going to ebb and flow as the tyres come and go. There we go. Ronnefeld, there's Canas. Just open the camera up so we can see both of them if possible. There is Canas. You won't see Ongaro, he's too far behind. You can see Ronnefeld is sort of a half a jump ahead. And over this section, they go through the Nagy section. There's Canas. The car behind isn't involved in the battle at the moment. And that lead goes out by 0.4. And Ongaro's not getting any closer either. So, at this stage, we're not halfway yet. It is still, it's looking okay for Ronnefeld, but obviously he's less than half an accident ahead. And there's no way that Canas is giving up at this point, because you can still see in his peripheral vision his prey. The problem for Ongaro is I don't think he can see the top two when he's looking at his peripheral vision anymore. He's not got that kind of ability to hook onto where they are, and he's just drifting back a little bit. But as he said, I think he's got his car which is set up for the tyres for the back end of the race. And we're only 18 minutes in. We haven't got halfway yet. So Canas now 1.8 seconds behind. Ongaro, I think, almost exactly, yeah, 300 per second. Clement Boda's going brilliantly. 34 flat. He's actually not far behind on the same. He's only 4 seconds back. So Boda putting in the driver's life, but it's not one we're going to see because he's not battling like these guys are for the European Championship. Ongaro, 4.5 back. Parenti's then 5th. Another good one for the young guns. Boots is in 6th. Then Burak in 7th. Roberts in 8th. Andre Trevis is in 9th, Oscar Navarro is in 10th, Pecco in 11th, Bruno in 12th, and obviously David Todd's had some problems because he's right off the back there, probably a flame out at some point during the pit stop. So Canas, 2.1 now behind Ronnefeld. Ongaro is remaining stationary at 4.4 behind Canas. Those two are matching to like 200 a second each lap, the speed they're doing. Now what Canas needs to do is start gaining back on Ronnefeld. That time he lost a 10th. There is Ongaro going round underneath us, and he lost a 10th. So they're all going very quickly. I mean, Clement Boda is a surprise package at the moment in 4th, and in 4th quite convincingly. And they've got Adrian Parenti as well. So some of the young guns in their first, Parenti was in last year's final as well. In their early finals, doing very well. But you've got the 3 old hands, not necessarily old in age, but just the old in experience, holding out the podium spots at the moment. You've got to say that David looks incredibly relaxed. A little bit of nervous tension in Canas, but I think that's how Canas drives. I think he's got that kind of nervous tension about him in the way he drives. A little bit more edgy, he's a bit more fidgety generally in life as well. But obviously an excellent Nitro, well, an excellent 1/8 driver, and probably if he tried something else, be excellent in that as well. Didn't go his way, of course. Canas at the 1/8 Buggy a few weeks ago, quite controversially. In some ways, he lost out to Ongaro. There was an incident in the first race, and unfortunately let that incident in the first race affect his second race, and by then it was all over, even though he was definitely the fastest person that weekend. But sometimes the fastest person doesn't win, which is a warning to Ronafalk, because he's the fastest person at the moment. Let's shift our focus to Ronafalk for a bit. Let's move forward to our leader. He's slowly eking out by turning laps quite consistently in the 33s. 33.5 now is the best lap we've seen, and that is from Ronafalk. 33.6 is the best lap we've, well, 33.7 effectively from Canas, and the 33.8 best from Ongaro. Ongaro now, as you can see, has just gained a little bit in the last couple of laps, back to 4.2 behind Canas, but the gap to the lead for Ongaro is now 7 seconds. So Ronafalk coming up towards to lap Pecco, and go a bit wider. So he's coming up to lap Pecco even, and Pecco will be asked to move out the way, probably around the outside of the carousel, and he does. And the next person to overtake will be Oscar Navarro. So it's taken him half the race to put a lap on some people in the top 10. His laps, obviously, it's not the longest or the shortest of championship tracks. It's 34, 35 seconds. It's not like Redovan, which is obviously 50 to 55 seconds. But we have seen shorter. But it's a very busy circuit. You're always doing something. And that's something you're always doing. Now he's got Oscar on the 11 car, and again, they found a good place to get. It seems like a good place to let people through, doesn't it? Just you go wide, and they go around the inside of Scotty's carousel through the Nagy, and then across the ground. His lead now at 3 seconds. So Ronafalk, if you get close to halfway, just to realise, oh, Canas has gone upside down. So Canas has fallen over. There he is. So that's Canas losing some time. That now is giving Ronafalk a massive lead of 8 seconds from Ongaro. So Ronafalk now has an accident in hand. Now, are we going to see Ronafalk winning his 4th European Championship at the same place as he won his 3rd? And I assume with his 3rd different manufacturer. He's won 2 of them with Kyosho, 1 of them with Mayarko, and now 1 of them with X-Ray. So that I'm sure would be a bit of a first. I think he's the first 4-time champion. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
And a Worlds with HB.
And a Worlds with
all
HB.
The brands.
All the brands, all the time.
Getting a Barufalo reputation.
Well, yeah, it's quite bad that way, isn't it? Actually, did he win one of his Euros with HB? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He'll tell us. But it's we have literally only had half the race. So another pit's got to come. Every time you pull the car in the pit, it's a potential disaster. Every time that car stops, every time you go around a corner, every time you overtake someone, every time you take the car in the car, don't forget these cars, they're bulletproof. Or are they? Things can go wrong all the time. We'll take Ronafalk in and out. Hops it down. Martin Bayer picks up. I think it's his dad who's fueling. Pierre Ronafalk puts the fuel in. It's a bit of a slow one. Doesn't matter. He's got a lot of time. Just take it easily. Out he comes. And Ronafalk carries on leading. He didn't even leave. I don't think he lost the lead. I think one car's Canas came into the pits a bit early. I think after that I think he came in the pits after that accident to kind of re-steady his ship effectively. He's 11 seconds behind. I think he may have, I think there's a kind of a situation here where I don't know if Ongaro is actually 12 seconds, but Ongaro came in a lap early. I think actually what happened there was, I think that Ronafalk extended by a lap, so he went on the same lap as Canas, and Ongaro came in a lap early. So when we go across now, it's going to be Ronafalk lead. The next person over should be Ongaro, about 7 back, and then Canas will be probably 11 back, which is really, 6 back for Ongaro. Canas is going to come through at about 11 back, I think. Yeah, so 4 behind Ongaro, so 10.4 in total. Parente now has got past Boda, which looks like Boda's had some problems in the pits. I don't know, actually, just in the pits. So I think there could be people now who are doing slightly longer runs. As Ronafalk carries on going. Ongaro took a second out of his lead though during that pit stop cycle. As I said, it did look like it took a little bit longer for Pierre and Martin to get the thing stopped and turned round. So it's down to 6.3. But that upside down moment for Canas is going to cost him dearly, because not only has he got to try and get past Ongaro, he's then got to try and find a few more seconds to get past Ronafalk. Ronafalk now coming up to Astorino. Sorry, to Astorino. Completely different Italian entirely. To Trevision. Don't know what event I'm talking about. Go to Trevision in WRC. And he moves out of the way. Obviously they're working well to let the drivers through. You used to see one Ongaro did 33.7 that time for Ronnefout. 33.7 for Ongaro. Ongaro definitely does he didn't have this pace early on, so Ongaro is absolutely right what he said about having to wait for the tyres to come in. Did he have to wait too long? Because by the time they've come in, he's 6.5 seconds behind. A lot of that was, 2 or 3 of that was down to an issue in the pit stop. But 19 minutes to go. Ronnefout leads. Let's drop back and see if we can see Ongaro chasing him. He's about 6.5. But just wait there and Ongaro will come through. There he is, Davide. Looks like Boda has lost some positions. He's now running in 6th. Adrian Parente's in 4th. 5 seconds behind Canas. Last time round, Ongaro actually going 7/10 last time round. I didn't really see an error. We were watching Ronnefout, but Ongaro now has got the ground speed in the car he didn't have earlier on. He's just clicking 33s every single time, so the grips come into those tyres now. Is it going to be enough to grip him all the way back forward those 5.7 seconds towards Ronnefout? He's got 20 minutes. He's got the whole of a semi-final effectively to do it. That time round though, 33.8 for Ronnefout, 33.9 for Ongaro. Just want to see what Juan Carlos did. He did 33.8, so they're all back up there or thereabouts of where they were. It's been a couple of the most minor of problems that split the cars up, and also the ground speed of Ronnefout. Bad pit stop for Ongaro and that one moment off the track, and then for Canas, just a little bit of loss of performance, and then suddenly that big roll and being upside down in front of our hut right here. And that is the story of why we have these cars split by a total of 10 seconds with Ongaro in the middle of them. Parente's 5 further back. Will Battle make it to the top 5. Boda is in 6th. Berat Klitscheving a quiet one in 7th. Boots 8th. And he'll be the next person to be lapped by our leader. But this is obviously, we're looking at our second place man, Davide Ongaro. Still a couple of stops to be made. The 15 minute to go and the 7 minute to go stop. Ongaro knows where he is. He just dropped about, I don't know what happened there. I didn't see anything wrong with that lap, but he dropped a second. So there's some real subtlety of where the time's ebbing away, isn't there? He dropped a second on that lap, and it's gone out to 7.2. Canas didn't really gain either. Canas dropped a second too, so it was a big lap for Ronnefout. As he's coming up now to also go past Trevisan. Down they go. Gets this kind of more relaxed area of the situation. There's about 17 minutes to go. They're turning laps. To give you an idea, 33.7 for Ronnefout, 33.7 for Ongaro, 34.4 from Canas, 34.2 from Parente, 34.2 from Boda, 34.1 from Kid's got 33.6, 33.5 in fact from Parente. So there's some real, the absolute fastest lap is really very similar to what they're doing for each of them. A little bit drops off a little bit towards the back with Todd and Navarro, but they can't turn these consistent fast laps. Ongaro is sitting at 7 seconds behind Ronnefout with 16 minutes to go, so there's going to be a pit stop in the next couple of laps. Not really sure at this point what Ongaro can do unless he suddenly finds a new turbo button on the car, because he's fallen behind by 7 seconds. Canas is further 5 behind. I kind of always want to know what's going through the minds of these drivers, but the thing they do know, is there's always a chance that something's going to go wrong. A kerfuffle with a back marker, a roll, a difficult marshal, something breaking. But at 7 seconds, it's not really within Ongaro's remit to be able to get past him just on pace, with just 2 sections to go, this one and then the last 2 pit stops to come up. I think they're going to do it. I'm probably going to do another lap before the pit stop. If they don't, they might be a little bit short. No, they'll be fine. So this will be Ongaro's pit stop lap as he turns round the far tabletop, up and over the big Kyosho double, and then coming into the S again. Canas hasn't really gained. No one's. I think he took a snapshot when they all finished their pit stops 7 or so minutes ago. There's been very little change in the overall gaps between the top 5, I don't think. I mean, Kilic perhaps has dropped a little bit further off Parente, but that's about it. They're all now just in the zone and turning laps. Oh, okay, that's that interesting. That he's running an extra lap. Ongaro doesn't make a difference. He's still going to stop twice, but he's just running an extra lap. He's obviously enjoying clear air. Don't push it too far because that might result in a flame, and that could be it. So Ongaro looking like at the moment it's another not European win. But let's have a look now at the pits, and in they come. In fact, in has gone Ronefalk just ahead, so we'll end up seeing what's going to happen. Ronefalk's down now. Bayer's got him through, and they're looking for Ronefalk. Now this is, I'm going to ask a question. Knaus comes in now as well. Did you get? That was a real kind of last-minute lunge by the pit man to pick him up and turn to the left and spin it out there. Now I've got a question because I'm not quite sure about this, but I don't think X-Ray have won this Euros before. I've been completely wrong. Bruno did win it. Thank you very much. So someone with a better brain than me. Before you all write down, it was Bruno, of course, won it in 2018 in a different part of Portugal with the X-Ray. So yes, X-Ray have won it before. Interestingly, that was the year he had Ty Tessman and Gord Tessman doing his mechanicking for him. Gord, scary Gord, and very sweet Ty. But yeah, so it has. So I'll take that bit of trivia out the match because it's not the case. So this would be X-Ray's second European Championship win in this class. Ronefalk's lead up to 8 seconds. Yeah, Jonathan, unfortunately, see, it's 35 seconds before I see you writing Coelho won it with X-Ray, and that's already told me. See, that's where things can go wrong. I'm not quite sure whether the driver there was actually trying to let Ronefalk pass or was having his own moment on the start-finish line there. I think it might have been Boots, in which case he certainly wasn't trying to cause a problem, that's for sure. So Ronefalk, who's had a real up and down week, in fact the definition up and down week. At one point he had 2 rubbish scores and had to get 3 decent scores to do any sort of decent qualifying in the second 3 rounds, the last 3 rounds of qualifying. 7-6, 5-5, Parente 5 back. Warwick Battle, who's running a slightly different strategy, is showing in 5th at the moment. I think he might end up showing in, I think this is the stagger unwinding. Everyone's got one more stop to make, which has put Battle in between Parente and Kilic. Let's just see if we can find that Battle. The number 10 of Parente is about 15 seconds back here. So the 10 of Parente and the 4 of Battle should be battling, so as it goes. And that is it. This is the battle. This is the closest on the track. Adrian Parente with his own car. He doesn't have a chassis sponsor. Don't know why. And then the Battle goes through. Is Battle looking at Battle? Good weight. So Robert coming together with the 2 Spaniards. So Robert's running a 9-minute strategy. So Robert is net here because they've both got 1 stop to make. Good lap for Ongaro in comparison to Ronefalk going to 2nd, but that could be anything. Could be passing traffic or whatever. Battle now looking up the inside of Parente in this battle for the first off the podium. They're a long way back behind Knaus, 5 seconds, and that lap went the other way round, and Ronefalk gained half a second on Ongaro. 11 minutes to go. These two battling for 4th place. Young Adrian Parente and old, he's much younger than me, for a battle. Working as they are. Looking to see if he can get past the youngster. Oh, he's going to get past the youngster. The youngster's rolled. Did I manage to get a replay for the first time? Because I've been too busy watching. I've gone transfixed on the action. There he goes. Just rolls at the last minute, and that's Battle into 4th place. Okay, let's pick up our leader again and see if we can find Ronefalk. He is early in the lap. There he goes, and it's good lap, bad lap. It seems at the moment. You just lost him. Good lap, bad lap at the moment. Did you have Boda? Oh, you fell for that one. That's normally me who falls for that one. Yeah, Clement Boda's got a very similar paint job. It's a good lap, bad lap at the moment for Ronefalk. He went 7.5, back to 6, back to 7.5, back to 6, and this time it's 6.9, what would be 6.7. So another couple of tenths gain for Ronefalk, for Ongaro. Problem is Ongaro really needs to start gaining about 3 tenths a lap if he's going to close down David. And the issue is obviously he isn't at this point close enough to put any pressure on the Swede, and therefore that's not going to result in the chance of forcing a pressure-based mistake. Knaus is 6.5 back. They've evenly spaced themselves out. I don't remember a time when the top three have kind of finished with no problems in 1, 2 and 3, I'll be honest with you. There's always been one who's had a breakdown or a flame or something like that that's resulted in not being there. So we've managed to see an absolute head-to-head between the three of them, currently being won by Ronefalk, X-Ray and FX, ahead of the associated of the OS-powered machine of Ongaro, and of course the Reds-powered S-Works of Juan Carlos Knaus. Bruno's picked up a bit of pace, I've been told in the chat. I can't watch every single car, up to 9th place. So there's going to be a case really where the tyres do come in and come out, because obviously they're losing grip all the time, or losing tread, not losing grip. We're not seeing any reduction in race time. Ongaro did the fastest lap of the race last time, around a 33.4, so he is coming, but he's a long way back. So Ongaro, fastest lap of the race. Is that some sort of eye taken off there by running around 33.7 that for Ronefalk. They really have found some pace now. They're going faster than they were when they were qualifying. I think that's equivalent, because obviously they've got the tyres into really good position, but also because the track's a bit cooler now, which is of course coming up to 7 minutes to 7 here. It meant that should have finished at 5 o'clock. 8 minutes to go, one fuel stop for Ronefalk. Ongaro has it at 6.6, so he has gained a second during the past couple of laps, but every time he tries to put some power on and go faster, the problem is that that's exactly the same thing as Ronefalk does. Ronefalk looks completely untroubled by anything that's going on at the moment. Totally unbothered as he goes away. Welcome to Alexander Ducorn. They are becoming RCTV Hero during the final of the 2025 EFRA Nitro Buggy Euros, brought to you by JConcepts. Thank you to JConcepts. Thank you to our gold partners, X-Ray, EuroRC.com, Invisible Speed Marker, Youth Mentoring Program, S-Works and Mebo Sport. You've got a day left for the 8% discount, and you've got a day left for the very good offer on the Invisible Speed Setup Station. Pekka out to be lapped again by Ronefalk, and he lets him through very well indeed. Pekka running in 12th, Todd in 13th. Neither of them able to make much of an impression on this final, which has all been about the three grandees of Nitro racing in Europe. And this is going to send out a message, I think, to the Americans, because I watched the final of the trucking, and I watched oh my lord, that was what blue coal, that flew off the track completely. That was Navarro, wasn't it? Just flew off the track there. Final pit stop for Ronefalk. I watched the final of the trucking, I watched the final of the buggy, and they're both great races, and they're both great performances by Fend and Mayfield, but what was characterised them was they made a number of mistakes. And if they watch what we've seen here, we've seen one mistake from Ongaro, and we've seen one mistake from Knaus, and we haven't seen anything else from anybody else. And that's the 11 car being pulled in. That is indeed Navarro who crashed off and went. So the final fuel stop's been made, and it looks like the kind of a false catch up there, or is it a real catch up? I don't know. There is Ronefalk. He was running, I think he had the Clement Boda situation again there for a second.
Got
boderized again. It's going to happen. It happens all the time. If Clement's going to start making a main final, he's going to start changing his paint scheme. But so Ronefalk and Ongaro and Knaus have made two mistakes between them in what's coming up now to 120 minutes or 160 minutes of racing. So there's going to need to be some changes, or some concentration, or some setup ideas not so edgy for the Americans at Thornhill. Sorry, it's at Thornhill in a few months' time, about a year's time. But Ronefalk, after a couple of years where things haven't been going for him, as he fell out with Mayarko and fell in with X-Ray, now has made his final pit stop, and only a technical issue now seems like to take any chance of him actually not winning this one. Ongaro has, good, well done to Davide. He's actually managed to gain back quite a bit of time. back to 5.8. He is now the fastest person on the track. Is Ongaro. He's putting up another 0.3 there. But of course, there's traffic ahead of David. He's been very careful, very circumspect with 5 minutes to go. And they swing round the loop. And Ronefalk now up and over. And thank you to RC Marcus Games for coming in RCTV Hero. It's much appreciated and helps us do what we do for this class and all the other classes we cover in RC around Europe and also around the world, hopefully. So with 4.5 minutes to go, it is only a technical failure that can rob it. Ongaro is gaining. Ongaro, unfortunately, hasn't got enough time. And I think also it's an element that Ronefalk now is being very, very careful. He's also obviously in the midst of traffic. He's about to try and overtake the car that's exactly the same colour. He's not very confused which car it is. He's going to be looking at, I think he's done Boda now, hasn't he? He'll stick with Ronefalk. We don't need to go anywhere else the rest of this one. Let's see what he's doing. 4 minutes to go. The lead was 5.3. Is it got a bit shorter this time? I think 5.2. I think Ongaro is also going through some of the traffic that Ronefalk was going through. Canas has dropped right off now. He's 11 seconds behind these two, so it's just not worked for Canas in the second half of the race. That roll kind of rolled him out of contention. But David Ronefalk is about to become, I believe, the first 4-time European champion. And he looks very, very relaxed about it. More relaxed than me. It doesn't involve me. So he's coming across the line now for 3.5 minutes. We've managed to keep 12 of the 13 cars running. Only Oscar Navarro has had to pull out.
I think there's a few people watching at the Hoodie Arena biting their nails.
I would think so. Yeah, but I'd like to point out Ongaro is gaining quite dramatically now. It's 3.7. It's down to 4.6 seconds for Ongaro. Now I realise that's because Ronefalk is taking is put off the gas. But if Ronefalk has an error now, Ongaro is within another 4/10. So Ongaro is within the one error area. So yes, I'm sure you think you can drive. You can drive 5 laps cleanly, but you're leaving yourself a lot less margin for error.
Not the world's all over again.
He's rolled it back to the last lap of that year. So he's rolled it back to 34 flat from the 33.7s he was going. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's as it stands at the moment, he's about to be crowned the best driver in Europe. 33. Oh, he's just a bit fast one, just to prove me wrong. 33.6. And jumping again. It's 33.6 also for Ongaro, so it remains at 4.2 seconds. Canas dropping off at a rate of knots. He's going to get, I think he's just about going to keep the podium from battle, but he's obviously perhaps lost a tyre or something, because he's dropping off at almost a second a lap, I think, at the moment. So there's an outside chance that Robert might scrape the podium. I think it isn't quite enough time to make up the gap. And Ronefalk comes over the line with 1:53 to go. That was 33.7. He's decided perhaps it's better to just give it a bit more. But look at Ongaro, 33.4. Probably, I think that's the fastest. He has done the fastest lap of the entire event on that. A minute to go, down to 3.9. Ongaro is absolutely coming, and it's going to be a case here. Yes, absolutely. If he stays 4 wheels down, Ronefalk's going to win this. But any pico error, and he's going to find Ongaro right on his tail. There's 1:24 to go. He's going to go across at 1:20. He's got 3 laps to go. 3.9 is the lead. Is he going to go up or down this time? It goes down to 3.7. Ongaro is coming after him. He's just not going to have enough time. And I think that Ronefalk knows it's within his want not to get it wrong. Obviously, the last thing you do is tighten up. These are the experienced drivers. They don't make those mistakes. But Ongaro making a game of this one, because Ronefalk is one minor little error or a bobble that doesn't quite work away from losing this title, which he currently has 1.75 hands on the trophy. Okay, so he's about to begin his penultimate lap. That one round was a 33.7. He's still turning in some decent laps. Ongaro is super fast at the moment. That time Ongaro just fell back. So the lead now is 4 seconds. It's still one mistake, and there's still 2 laps to go. I'm just checking that Ongaro. Think Ongaro won't. Ongaro will get the next lap. So they're both going to get one more lap. They won't get caught by the clock. So David Ronefalk looking. He's a lap and 4 corners away from winning his 4th European Championship, and taking it with X-Ray to go with the other chassis he's taken it with FX, and coming back out of the dark times he'd had it for a couple of years, and he's about to repeat his win from 3 years ago. He won here in 2022. He looks like he's going to win here in 2025. And Ronafalk is about to become the most storied racer in European Nitro history, becoming the first person to win it 4 times. We've got 3-time winners in Robert Battle and 3-time winner in Renault Savoy, but the first 4-time winner of the European Championship is going round Scotty's Carousel for the final time. He's going up the S-Works jump for the final time. He's going to the top of the track for the final time. Round the nudgy section for the final time. He's going round the cone for the final time. And David Ronafalk is your 4-time European champion! It is a fantastic result for him. What a result. Obviously, it is subject to technical inspection. It's always subject to technical inspection. Other drivers looking around and looking to go. They couldn't match the Ronafalk pace. I'd wait for him to come this way because I've seen before we get slight interference at the other end.
Okay, finally switch over the cars.
So just wait for David to come because we've had a little bit of issue with the interference. Ronafalk, let's have a quick word with David and let's not use that. Hey, David, let's get you into a place where we can see you and get perfect reception. Congratulations. It's been the most up and down week possible and it's finished with the biggest up you could possibly have.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best one yet, I would say. Like you said, many ups and downs. Hungaro was closing in there towards the end, but I knew on a track like this, I just had to give a little bit more margin to the to the tubes there towards the end. It didn't really matter if I slowed down a couple of tenths because I had a big enough gap that I could build up in the beginning of the run. So it was an intense wait for the main to start, and the main was just as good as in 22, I would say. You just said to me before, if I was going to win, I said I was going to win. So,
first ever 4-time European champion in this class, and it kind of, you last won it here 3 years ago. It's been a bit of a downtime since then. Just tell us, what are your emotions about your racing career, having won for the 4th time?
Yeah, I've been going a little bit back and forth this year between the classes that X-Ray has to offer. This is still my main, I consider it my main class still, of course. Maybe people could see that today. So, it's funny that this was my first Nitro race this year. I didn't do any Nitro race leading up to this. So, even though I felt very good with the car and everything, it's always an unknown, like whether the equipment is going to hold up for the duration of the main there. But the whole package was just amazing from the get-go. The X-Ray XP8 felt amazing out there all week. FX engine delivered the power needed. Hot race tires had a superb grip out there. I think we saw that after qualifying also in the mains that it was the tire you wanted to be on them this week. High-tech servos. I put one of their new servos in for this year and just a little stronger and was able to keep up with the high grip and high load conditions here on this track in Barcelona. So couldn't be happier. And I'm a little bit speechless right now because it was a very...
That's the longest speech from a speechless man. Go enjoy your team. Have a great time. Fantastic result for David. And let's be honest, there's a career in NASCAR for him. He remembered to get all the sponsors all in at the right time. What a great race. Fantastic performance for those 45 minutes. I watched as Canas and Ongaro walked off the rostrum, and it was just like, well, what could we do? We couldn't beat him. His 2nd win at this track, his 4th win overall. And that's it. That's it for us, for RCTV at the European Championship. There'll be lots of content coming out of here after that. We've got a post-race press conference we're going to record. I'm going to try and take this fly home with me. We will be back, obviously, very soon with the next European Championship. I should have asked Matt what it is, but I think it's in 2 weeks' time. And then we will be... Matt, what's the next championship? The 40 plus is the next one in 3 weeks. So it's the same class, but like lots of people, even younger than me. Pardon? Okay, so I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to sign off. We're going to try and get more pictures. There's Martin Bayer with him, who's taken the whole thing. And we carry on going. There's the situation. I need you to go out of the way. And then, whoops, sorry. Oh, The whole X-Ray team there is absolutely all over the shop. And a great win and a great victory there for David.